Hi, and welcome to This Week in Bobcat Athletics. I'm Vice President of Athletics, Craig McPhail, and we're going to have another great show. It seems like we always do, but today we're going to kind of talk to you a little bit about our latest sport that we've added, snowboard and skiing. I've got head coach Aaron Moss with me, and he's going to talk a little bit about what he's doing to build this program back to where it used to be. If you remember, Bobcat fans, back in the day we had skiing and snowboarding, and it was a great program. We're going to try and do it again this time. We've also got men's basketball player Darius Melbon to sit down with Chris and talk a little bit about the season and what's coming up ahead. So folks, stay tuned for another great week of This Week in Bobcat Athletics.
And welcome back to This Week in Bobcat Athletics. I'm Sports Information Director Chris Parker. I'm here with junior basketball player Darius Melbon. Darius, welcome.
Thank you.
You guys have played quite a few games. Record doesn't really reflect it, but can you just talk about the toughness of your schedule that you guys just faced?
Yes, sir. This year, it has definitely been a really big journey. Our first 4 games was against some tough teams. 3 out of 4 teams were in the top 25. Play LMU, top 10 team, play Southern Indiana, top 25, and we also played Kentucky Wesleyan, which in my opinion was the best team we played thus far. Top 10 team as well. And then we finally got our first win this weekend against Allen, and got high hopes. We thought it was like a turning point for us, and then we played Newberry the next night, and we lost tough. We lost by 5 points, so it's definitely been a journey. A lot of lows right now, but I definitely think we can pick it up.
Talking about that Allen game, you guys, it was close through, I'd probably say the first 25, 30 minutes of it. Can you just talk about a little bit about the performance of LaPrice and Cam and Austin? It seems like they kind of carried the offensive brunt late in the game.
Yes, they definitely helped us out a lot. They were our core members for the game. Cam helped rebound, and then Priest and Austin definitely controlled the offense. Were very efficient, passed the ball, controlled the offense, scored. And when other people got in the game, they did their job as well, and we fortunately got the win.
And speaking of a game, you guys probably went through one of the toughest stretches I've ever heard of, where you played, I believe, 6 and 9 days. You finally had a couple days off before tomorrow's big game. We'll talk on that in a minute. How do you feel, and how do you think the guys feel just after such a tough 2-week stretch?
Honestly, I think we feel really good right now. I think we're rejuvenated. I think it was a tough journey, but I feel like we're ready for the conference now and ready to play Mount Olive.
And speaking of Mount Olive, you guys get them at home. They came in preseason top 10, but they've struggled. I believe they've lost 3 in a row. What's the mindset, first of all, in playing in front of your home crowd, but second, just to play such a tough team for your first conference game?
Well, it's definitely going to be a good experience, get the home crowd going. There should be a lot of energy in the building, so we can definitely get that win if we're ready that night. But also, we do know Mount Olive had a tough schedule, just like we have this year, and we know they're a good team. We know they're going to be one of the best teams in the country, one of the best teams that we've played so far, so we got to be ready.
And final question, with Thanksgiving break coming up, everybody gets to leave tomorrow. Just talk about what your plans for a holiday and something that you're thankful for.
Well, I'm thankful for my family, of course, friends, and honestly, just to play basketball every day. It's a dream come true, honestly. And for break, eat some macaroni and cheese and watch Mockingjay Part 2 with the family. So I think it's going to be a good break.
All right, Darius. Well, thank you for joining us, and best of luck tomorrow.
Thank you very much.
The Bobcats host Mount Olive tomorrow at 7:30 in Williams Gymnasium, and we'll talk about the rest of their Thanksgiving break schedule when we get back with This Week in Bobcat Athletics.
Hi, and welcome back to This Week in Bobcat Athletics. I'm Vice President of Athletics, Craig McPhail, and today I've got me a special guest, our head coach for skiing and snowboarding, Aaron Moss. Aaron, glad to have you today.
Thank you, Craig. Glad to be here.
Tell us a little bit, we've added snowboarding and skiing, Aaron, and what have you been doing in the last 3 months since we've added it?
I had several goals, one of which is to build the program from the ground up. That includes getting as many of the students involved in the program as possible, trying to figure out which of those students will make a good core group of members of our initial team here since we were restarting the program. Trying to create a link between this current program and the one that we had here in the past. And as you noted before, it was very successful. I'd like to continue that success. And I know there's probably a lot of alumni from this college that would still like to participate and be a part of this program. And community outreach, get involved with the different resorts around town, the different shops, being able to get them on board with this program because it's going to take not just a collegiate effort, but a community effort as well.
Aaron, tell us a little bit about your background as to why skiing and snowboarding is to some degree a passion of yours and why you're a good fit for us.
I've grown up, I actually grew up in the state of Iowa, which doesn't offer a lot of resources for skiing and snowboarding, but there are a few mountains around there, big hills. And I grew up doing some snowboarding and skiing in college. After that, when I moved up here to this region, I started doing it as much as humanly possible. I worked as an instructor and snowboarder ski and snowboard instructor for the last 6 years at Sugar Mountain, as well as coaching their snowboard program there. It's just one of those deals where I've been fortunate enough to take a hobby that became a passion of mine into a professional career.
Great, great. In this process of adding skiing and snowboarding, take us a little bit through who do we compete, where do we compete, maybe a little bit of our conference and even our national exposure and where that will take Bobcat Nation.
So the national organizing body is the USCSA, which is the United States Collegiate Ski and Snowboard Association, and they're based out of the Northeast. We are a member of the Southeast Conference. It's us along with 12 other schools, and those schools range from a school like University of Virginia and UNC Chapel Hill, where they'll have 130 plus members of their team, down to smaller schools such as ourselves, Elon, and other schools that the way that they have the conference and the national organization structured out is it pretty much levels the playing field for the schools, universities. The small schools can do just as well to compete with the bigger schools. There are different specialties in which we can compete. We'll be more likely competing in a men's ski race program, women's ski race, men's snowboard, and women's snowboard race. There are a few other disciplines, ski jumping, which is probably one that we won't get into, as well as Nordic. Those are other things that hopefully we can start adding some freestyle programs and stuff, but right now we just need to focus on the core group of riders that we have here and working with the abilities of the current students that we have on the team.
Good. I guess you're probably like a lot of our locals folks that they're ready for the snow to come, and we got a little tasting of it this weekend. So give me an idea of what a practice might be for a ski and snowboard person in the coming weeks, or maybe as we start the new year with all the different resorts having snow. What will you be doing with our team?
Yeah. So until the resorts open up, which should be any day now, we'll get together and do some dry land exercises. So there's always all sorts of things you can do to prepare yourself for the season. One of the biggest ones is trying to prevent yourself from getting injured throughout the season. So a lot of stretching routines, exercises that the students can do on a daily basis to get strengthen their core and get themselves in shape. There's always a saying that at the beginning of every season, every person has to get their snow legs back underneath them. With skiing and snowboarding, you're using your body in ways that you don't normally on a daily basis. So when you get back on that board or this pair of skis for the first time, you might be a little sore for the following days. So we'll try to keep that from happening. And there's also an academic component that goes along with this sort of physical sport. So we need to start working with them. Some of our riders haven't competed at a collegiate level or at a level where they have to turn when somebody else is telling them. So going through gates, proper body movement analysis in order to get through those. Just getting some of the vocabulary and things out of the way so they understand that while we're on the slopes, I don't have to explain myself what I mean by that. They will know immediately and they can take that to the next exercise. Then once the resort opens up, it's all about getting back on those edges and getting the skiers and the snowboarders through the gates, getting them practice. More than anything else, we have a short season, and that season is always shortened by the weather. So for example, right now, last 2 years we've been open and we've been able to ride by now, and we can't at this point. So once we're able to get on the slopes, we're going to be going through exercises and just getting people ready to go practice. The more laps they can run, the better off they will be and more prepared for competitions, which will begin here in just over a month.
Well, they don't call Banner Elk the ski capital of the South for anything other than the fact that we're close to Beech Mountain, Sugar Mountain, Appalachian Mountain, and we used to have Hawks Nest back in the day. And give us an idea of where our ski team will be traveling to compete as we build this program.
You hit the nail right on the head. Fortunately, we are right in the epicenter for the South, so our first 2 events are actually at Beech and Sugar Mountain, so we will not have to travel far for those. There's another event later on in the season at App, so that's right in our backyard as well. The other 2 events that we'll be going to would be at Bryce Resort and Massanutten. So those would be the 2 furthest ones, and if we're fortunate enough to qualify for regionals, that'll take place in Timberline in March, and once again, if we're fortunate, nationals will be in Lake Placid, New York. So those would be some of the different areas we'll be going to, and it just all depends as well as which events we're competing in. Because not every mountain and not every weekend competition will encompass every different discipline. Some of them are just race, some of them are just a freestyle event. So it just depends.
Well, Aaron, one of the things that will make our program hopefully a little bit more distinguishable than some of the others is the ability to scholarship some of these student athletes on skiing and snowboarding scholarships. I want to try and make sure that those who are watching, if you know of anybody interested in participating in skiing and snowboarding and being a part of the Avery County Banner Elk environment, especially the Lee's McRae College campus, please feel free to reach out to Aaron via email or call him. All of his information is on our website. But Aaron's got an opportunity to build a program, and we need people like yourself to be a part of it. And I think having the scholarships, being in the epicenter of skiing in the South with the familiarity of our area, could provide us with an opportunity to kind of build this program back to where it used to be. And I'm excited about having you here, Aaron. Tell everybody else a little bit about what has become so entertaining for you in this opportunity.
I think it's just really being able to start something from scratch at this point, although there has been the historical program here. It's part about being something new. Something that you can be able to put your own fingerprint on, and pretty much with all the incoming freshmen that we have and the new members of the team, they're excited about being able to start something where once they graduate from Lee's McRae, they can look back on it and say, hey, I was a part of that original team. The first couple of years we put that together. I remember when we only had 3 people on that team, and now there's 30. And it's really all about part of belonging and being a part of something greater than yourself. And that's what I'm excited about being here at Lee's McRae to do.
Good. Bobcat Nation, skiing and snowboarding's back. Find Aaron on the web. Be a part of it. Help us out. Join. Tell your friends. Thank you so much, Aaron.
Thank you, Craig.
And we're back with This Week in Bobcat Athletics. Just to recap what happened last week and what's coming up this week with the Thanksgiving holiday upon us. It's been a pretty slow slate. As we saw with Darius, the men's basketball team has been on the road for a while. They dropped some tough decisions to Southern Indiana, Kentucky Wesleyan. They did pick up their first win against Allen University on Friday, and as you heard, Laprice Lynch, Austin Anderson, and Cam Red, very impressive. They then played Newberry Saturday, lost a gut wrencher 96-91. Austin Anderson was lights out with 28 points. The Bobcats, as you heard, will be hosting Mount Olive, and that's on Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. at Williams Gym. And then they'll get some time off before they travel to Brevard on Sunday, and that game will tip at 4 at Boschmer Gymnasium. The women's team had a tough loss against Lincoln Memorial before heading to the road, and they dropped a game against Young Harris. The Bobcats will also be playing Mount Olive on Tuesday at 5:30, and then they will travel to Radford for an exhibition on Saturday at 2 o'clock. And that's really all we've got going on right now. Me personally, I hope everybody has a great Thanksgiving, and we'll be back shortly with This Week in Bobcat Athletics.
Hi, and welcome back to This Week in Bobcat Athletics. As we approach Thanksgiving, I wanted to kind of share a little bit about what I'm thankful for, but In reading some stuff this weekend, I noticed a great phrase, be appreciative for the things that you get to do versus the things you have to do. Well, I get to spend my days and sometimes evenings and weekends with some young people who really are incredible, our coaching staff, our student athletes, and in that process I get to watch them grow and develop through intercollegiate athletics. I think life is sometimes a microcosm of sports, and you can kind of teach self-discipline, motivation, you can handle adversity and overcome challenges to become a student athlete. And in this environment, it's very important. Sports are a critical part to Leeds McRae College and for that matter, Avery County. We have seen our young people use their skills and their talents to go into the local elementary schools. They've worked camps and clinics. They've made a difference. And I am proud to be the athletic director at Leeds McRae for this. I get to watch the beautiful scenery around our campus change every day. We can have howling winds to blowing snow to bright sunshine just in the span of a 30-minute window. I love watching our cyclists ride around the roads. I love seeing people run on the track or walk on the track for exercise. Hearing the ball squeak on the basketball court lets me know it's time for winter. Spending time with Aaron and knowing what we've got with skiing and snowboarding, those are things that I really enjoy that I get to do. Folks, I want to wish you a very happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy Bobcat Nation, and let's get ready for some great winter activities. Come out and see us when you get a chance. Thank you.